Hello.
Hello, sweetie. We're about to get started in just a minute. Welcome, everyone.
See, this is
We
what we
were
gotta
just
deal
talking
with
about
when
this,
the
right?
kids are at the house. This is what we gotta deal with when the kids are at the house. You know what I'm saying? They're busting in the door, knocking on the door after you sat there and told them 1,001 times to do not come to this door.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, hold on, why you gonna wait until I press live to come ask me a question? You had all this
I
time to
mean,
ask me a
right
question.
at that point, too.
You had all this time to ask me for a question. I'm just saying.
It was perfect timing.
Oh, no.
Oh my
All I could
gosh,
do was hello, and I had to
hilarious.
mute my mic.
Oh my goodness.
But for
Oh, the
those that know how to
joy.
read lips, they probably read my lips.
Right, girl. Oh, the
Look,
joy.
could you please go sit down? Look, you had all this time to ask me a question. Now you want to come in here and knock on. I'm not knocking the door. I just know the girl ain't knocking on my door.
And they couldn't have timed it no perfectly than that. Oh my
Hey,
goodness. We have a viewer, Kadadra, that said he knows how you feel. Ah,
this is all we're gonna be doing this whole time that we're on quarantine.
right. Woosah,
Let me take
woosah, woosah.
a breather before I come over there and beat you.
I'm praying for my parents. I'm praying for y'all with the little ones.
Mm-hmm. So, Keandra, you know how I feel. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was so perfect. Oh,
But how y'all doing this evening?
yes, yes.
Besides the interruptions of their lives.
Oh my
So
goodness.
wonderful. The Lord is good, y'all. So I
Yes,
gotta
he
give God
is.
some praise on this morning and on this live right now that the Lord is good.
Yes, he
In
is.
spite of it all, God is still good.
Yes, he is.
You're still good, God. You're still sovereign. You're still awesome. We magnify you. We lift your name on high. Yes, Lord. But we praying for some patience. We are praying for some patience, Lord
I
God.
think this shift is helping, as forcing, I should say, a lot of people, mainly parents, to learn patience
Mhm,
because when you're not
mhm.
accustomed to your children being at home with you or you being at home with your children on a 24/7 basis, yeah,
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I cannot
Look,
imagine.
but see, people will say, well, you should be used to it because kids be out during the summer. But see, our mindset and our bodies are prepared for the summer. You
And
see
so
what I'm
you
saying?
wire
We
differently.
prepared for 8 weeks. We are
Yes,
wired for 8 weeks, June and July. But you
yes.
talking about we're in the middle of March. My mind is wired like you're supposed to be at school. Why are you in my face? You see what I'm saying? This is what I'm thinking in my
Oh
back of my
God.
head. Why are you in my face? You're supposed to be
Oh
in
my
school,
goodness.
darling. Why are you? I mean, but you have to like
Yeah,
reshift. You have to reshift, reshape your
right.
mindset,
Yeah,
recreate, and reset some rules because you're they with
right.
you from March and probably all the way till August. You know, they say April 17th.
Oh, I think it's April 10th here. Yeah, I think it
Yeah,
is. I
they
I
say
keep seeing it on
April,
the news.
but
I
baby,
know.
I have a feeling it's gonna go
And then the
past
thing is, once they go back, they're gonna be out immediately after
immediately.
going in the summer.
Girl, I know
Help, Lord.
immediately. So
And
it's
I'm
like,
saying
what's
that
the
on behalf
point?
of my parents. Help,
What's the
Lord.
point? So, the ones
Oh,
who are on this live, you have kids, just put an amen in the comments. Amen. Lord, thank you for the patience. Thank you for the
yes.
peace, Lord God. Thank you for the extra food that the school are giving us because guess what?
Ooh,
I'm grateful. I'm
yeah.
thankful that the school are still feeding the babies.
Oh, that is a blessing.
It is a blessing because, that helps me. with the groceries. You know what I'm saying?
You can
We
plan
don't have no
accordingly.
food stamps in here. We don't have food stamps. We don't even qualify for food stamps.
Oh
So
God. No, they want you on the curve to get
they
that.
won't just they thank you, girl. You be right there on the curb. They're like, oh, sorry.
Oh
But
goodness.
no, so I thank the Lord. So we just thank you, Lord God. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. So we do have a guest tonight.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we have a guest tonight, y'all. And her name is Miss Frances Dupree. And she has an awesome book that she has written. She is 32 years old, and this is her first time. First time writing a book.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. And she has a goal of becoming the best seller. And she just wants to share her truth. She felt like it's time for her to tell her story. And just
Amen.
everybody on this earth has a story.
That's
And
right.
for God's glory, of course. And she said her journey life includes rape, physical abuse, mental abuse, homelessness, poverty, being unstable, depressed, and attempting to commit suicide. And she said if her truth can just save one soul, she feel like she has accomplished her goal. So
Mm.
we are going to welcome Miss Frances Dupree on, y'all. So y'all give a hand clap of
Yes.
praise. Hallelujah.
Welcome.
Praise.
Hi, thank you
We
for
thank
having me.
you. And thank you for being out here tonight, Miss Frances.
No problem. Thank you for having me on here. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So I had heard the guest that the name that you have written a book, and I don't even think I said the name of the book. The name of the book is Marrying Outside God's Will.
Mm.
Very excellent title because
Yes.
Thank you.
there are a lot of people who have done this.
I need you to
in my
elaborate on
opinion,
that title.
in my opinion. But why don't you go ahead and tell us how you came up with this title?
Yes.
So, there's honestly, I used to go to Bible college with Harvest Bible University, and in my previous marriage, which is the what the book part of what the book is about, I used to always say I'm going to write a book called Marrying Outside of God's Will. Because prior to getting married, when I prayed, God told me not to marry him. But I married him anyway. I felt like, if he's going to get married after all this stuff, I deserve to be the wife. Um,
Oh.
so I thought of the title while I was in the marriage at the time. And I think that it fits the book because the book's not just about the marriage, but to me, it's more so of the journey of
Mhm.
my journey with God.
Mhm.
And a lot of it, I was disobedient. A lot of it, things that happened and dangers that I opened myself up to was being outside of God's will.
Mm.
So I
Mm.
feel like it all comes together of marrying outside of God's will.
I like
Okay.
that.
We sure do love the title.
Thank
But
you.
just like I was saying earlier, in my opinion, there might be many of us that have married outside God's will, but um, I would have to say in my own life, I know I did marry outside
Mm.
God's will with the first marriage, of course. Um, but even in the middle of all that, God still got the glory out of it, though. You
Yes,
know,
he does. Yes.
because like the Bible says, Romans 8:28, all things work together for our good. Um,
Uh-huh.
even though you have obstacles from other people that make you feel like, oh, you got to stay stuck here. You know what I'm saying? But I
Yeah.
was like, but hold up. I know what the Bible says. I knew what the Bible says.
Right.
But all that time while people was telling me that I have to stay here, I have to stay here, I have to stay. God was like, And plus me, I was like, Lord, I pray you give me a way of escape.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
When you give me one, I'm running. I'm not walking. I'm running up out of here. So tell us something in the book that you want to share with us tonight.
Um, right before I say that, I just wanted to say, to tag off of what you were just saying. When I finally left that marriage, I got judged by so many people because I didn't stay in the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Um, from the outside looking in, basically on social media, you would have thought that we had like the perfect marriage. Unless you seen, sometimes we would fight and argue. That relationship was very public, so everything was on social media. But people always used to tell us, "Oh, I want to be like you guys. I want that marriage. I want this. I
Mm.
want that." But they didn't know what was going on behind closed doors.
Yeah.
They didn't know the battles and the different things that was going on. So it was just kind of like, you guys think that this is perfect, but it's really not. And
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I always try to tell people, I actually plan on doing a live this week, is that my book is not to bash my ex-husband. That's not what it's about.
Yeah.
Much
Mm.
love and respect to him. I learned a lot of different things in that relationship, but
Mm-hmm.
it's more so of sharing my journey
Yeah.
from the things that I went through and my journey with God. And my ex-husband just happened to be a part of that journey. So
Right.
I had,
Mm-hmm.
he had to be included in the story. But my main point in writing this book is to let other women, other young women, even men know that it's okay. A lot of times, not trying to bash or talk about anybody, but churches don't talk about the behind the scenes, the mental battle,
Amen.
like
Amen.
depression and suicidal thoughts. And like I said, shared with you guys, I have 9 kids. People assume, oh, she was just out, sleeping around and this and that and this and that. Well, true story is, I was on every birth control there was, and I still kept getting pregnant. So
Wow.
outside
Mm-hmm.
looking in, oh, she just has a bunch of kids, but they don't know the story behind it. I may have a pretty face, but no one knows how broken I used to be on the inside. And that's not
Mm.
something that people are strong enough to stand up and to share and say, yes,
Yeah.
I was depressed. Yes, I tried to kill myself. Yes, I used to cut myself. This isn't something that people like to speak about. And these are
Mm-hmm.
private battles. And especially for me, when I was by myself, that's when the enemy was just in my head and in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I had those situations. So I feel like writing this book, I'm praying that the right person reads it and they know that they're not alone. They're not facing
Right.
it alone. Somebody else has
Yeah.
been through it. Someone else was disobedient to God. Someone else had
Mm.
out of wedlock. Someone else attempted suicide. Somebody else was depressed. Somebody
Yeah.
else went to jail. But guess what?
Mm-hmm.
God still made a way. Now
Yep.
I'm a paralegal currently, but I'm almost done with my criminal justice degree and bachelor's, so I can go to law school. I
That's good.
I'm married again, and I prayed after my first son. I found out I was pregnant with my second one. I prayed for 12 years for a daughter, and I have a daughter now. She's 9 months. I'm married to my first love, so it's like, even though I went through everything that I went through, God made a way and he turned my whole life around. And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's something that some people need to know. It's somewhere,
Right.
somebody right now that's like, you know what? I can't live this life. I made too many mistakes. There's no coming back from it.
Mm-hmm.
Where's God at? I want to kill myself.
Right.
No, don't do it.
Yeah.
God is there. Your life
Yeah.
will turn
Mm.
around. It takes time. And, there's sacrifice and there's them days that's hard and those good days. But in the end, like right now, I feel like everything that I went through was necessary. That I had to
Mm.
go through what I went through because I was going to get to a place in my life where I was loved the right way. I had the right support system and I could
Mm-hmm.
go publicly and share my story and not worry about the judgment. I think that's the biggest thing is people are afraid to say the demons
Yeah.
and mental battles that they go through because they're afraid to be judged.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes, that's
God already
good.
knows my story. My husband knows my story, and my older kids that are able to read, they know my story. So I'm not ashamed anymore. I'm gonna tell it to whoever I
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
can tell.
You don't have nothing to
Amen.
be ashamed of. The Bible says we are not condemned when we are in Christ. But some things that we do go through, it does make you feel shame.
It
Hmm.
But
does.
that's what it is, a feeling.
Right.
It's just a feeling. It's really not your reality. Because in God's eyesight, He has turned you into glory. Your shame is into glory now.
Mm,
So you can walk around here with your head up, boo. I mean, with them 9 kids too. Maybe they'll be walking
right.
around and taking pictures. Say, baby, yeah, I got 9 kids, and I'm married to the love of my life. But as I was listening to you, you have a twofold story where you able to talk to the ladies that does have multiple kids, that they're able to have a husband as well, because we get in this mindset that, hey, ain't nobody gonna want you because you got all them
Yeah.
kids. Because I have a
Yes.
lot of kids too, and I have five. But before I got my second husband, I had four. But I had that mentality like, ain't nobody gonna want me because I have four kids, so I'm gonna have to settle with whatever I can get. But
Mm,
at the same time, I had to learn that settling is not better either. What's
Right.
right.
better is what God has for me, not what I think
Exactly.
is for me. Is what God has for me, and that is better. So I had to retrain my mindset, renew my mindset and get rid of some old mental thoughts that I was having about myself and
Hmm.
also from what I was hearing. Because you be hearing these things too, like, ain't nobody gonna want you. You just
That's very
damn
true.
good. You've been
I,
through all that, and you trying to get rid of those old things and at the same time live a saved life and live an abundant life that Jesus said He promised us
Right.
that He went to the cross for. So
mhm.
you trying to get rid of those things, and when you do, you just want to shout out on the mountaintop, boo! Look at the life I have now. Woo! You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah.
But that's so true though, because so my oldest son and my baby girl are by my current husband. And my 7 sons in between are with my ex-husband. So
Mm,
when we broke up, him and a lot of people around me, oh, you have 8 kids, no one's gonna want you, this and that, this and that. And the process of our divorce and a little afterwards, I was kind of talking to different people, but I'm a very like, I don't want anybody around my kids. So anything that I did, my kids were at my friend's house or I would leave my house. So I was not gonna let anyone around my children. And I feel like my husband that I have now is just like perfect for us, because when we got back in communication with each other, there was no doubt. It was just, he was in Arizona and it was just kind of like, okay, when are you coming? And he came straight from Arizona and came straight and moved in the house. So I used to always have that fear, like, I can't trust anybody. I have 8 kids. Even though I'm a woman and I have needs and all of these things, I don't want anybody around my kids. I don't
right.
trust people. I watch the news. All these step parents are doing things to these kids.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
have sons, and the sad thing about it is they're going after boys before they're going after girls now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So my thing was, yeah, I can go and have my fun, but this, like, I'm not going to have anything serious, or I'm not going to get married again because I don't trust anybody around my kids. I don't want anybody doing anything to my sons. But God had a completely different plan. God knew that, well, I have 8 kids and I'm a woman, so I can teach my sons how to respect. I can teach them
Mhm.
right from wrong. But honesty, I'm not a black male. I don't know how it is to be a
Mm,
black man in the society. And my
Mhm.
children needed a man, a role model in the home to teach them the things that I could not teach them. And
Mhm.
God
that's
knew
good.
my trust was already bad. So it was only one person that he could send my way and say, okay, she's going to trust you. She's going to let you in the house. You're going to be able to raise these boys the way that they need to be raised. And that's who I'm married to now. He's my first love. And my baby girl came after that.
Yeah. So
Wow. It is. It
so
is.
awesome.
And Francis, I wanted to piggyback off of something you said earlier when you mentioned how when you were going through your divorce and how you were being judged, or either after your divorce, because from the outside looking in, it was this perfect picture. And I
Mm-hmm.
like to call it what we see a lot
Mhm.
on social media, the relationship goal. And
Yeah.
Right.
so that was something so powerful to me because I think that speaks to single women and single men as well, to be
Mm-hmm.
careful in being envious of what we see from the
Yeah.
outside looking in. Because I'm single, I've never been married, so I don't know, the side that you and Tyra come from. But I love to take it in because I desire to be married. But I know that I am still walking this path of singleness. And what you said just reminded me of something that we have to be mindful of as single women and men, is that we can't get caught up and envious of what we are seeing from the outside looking in. We don't know what's going
Mhm.
on in those people's home. We see a smile on that sister's face. She all hugged up with her man or whatever. Because I know with me, things like that touches my heart because I'm a
Mhm.
loving person. I'm a very
Right.
touchy feely. My first love language is physical touch. So when I see things of that nature, it just melts my heart. But you don't know what they're walking home into. You don't know,
Mhm.
the relationship, the true reality of that household, whether
Mhm.
it's from the male or the female side of it. So we have to be careful not to
Yeah.
get caught in that vortex of being envious. We shouldn't be envious at all, or even getting caught up in this whole society thing of the relationship goals. I
Yeah.
don't. I've learned I don't want a relationship goal. I want a God goal. I want what
Amen.
God wants for me because
Yeah.
I don't want what I see out here in society. I don't want what I see on social media because I know it's false. It's
Mm-hmm.
false.
Mhm.
I know it is. It's false. I don't want that. And so I want God relationship. That's what I want.
Amen.
Yeah, because
Amen.
I've noticed that a lot of people like to paint a pretty picture on social media, and they
Right.
want
Mhm.
you to think like, their life is perfect, they have no flaws. And I can only say this because I walked that life. That's what I wanted. I wanted everyone to think that everything was great when it wasn't. But
Mhm.
now my marriage is private, it's personal, it's nobody's
There it
business.
is. But you
I
and
share
God.
what I want to share. I share what I want to share, how I want to share. My husband
Yeah.
is a private person. He doesn't even have social media. So I guess I could say I've matured and I've learned that you don't want everybody in your relationship. You don't want everybody in your business because that gives them the room to judge. That gives them the room to speak and plant bad seeds.
Oh, yes, it
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
So when you keep things private and you keep it to yourself, you don't have to worry about things like
Right.
that.
Mhm.
Set those
I do
boundaries.
share, certain moments, but it's not a lot. I share
Yeah.
mainly. I post more of my children, and the things that they're doing than I do about my marriage and the thing that's going on with us. Because now that I've been through what I've been through, I'm like, that's nobody's business, and I'm protecting it
Mhm.
At all
Mhm.
costs.
at all costs.
Amen. Amen. And so, Francis, what would you tell anybody that's single that wants to be married? What they should look for if they want to be married, and how would they know that they are outside God's will?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Oh, put you on the spot, Miss Francis.
I would have to say that you have to be patient. Don't like when
Mhm.
I was first single, mind you, my last relationship was 12 and a half, almost 13 years. So when I became single, it was like, whoo, I'm single. Um, I've never really dated before, but I have kids, so it was something fresh and something new. But the people that
Mhm.
showed attraction to me, it was like I went straight forward. I dove head in just because I found in myself that I was craving that attention. Like once the
Mm.
separation happened, I felt like a failure because of my divorce. I felt like I did something wrong. I
Mm.
felt
Mhm.
like, oh, I have all these kids. No one's going to want me because I don't get hit on often. And, that's just the truth. I used to tell my friends, like, y'all get hit on all the time. How come nobody try to talk to me? What am I ugly? Like, what am I doing wrong?
Mhm.
So I would say don't jump after the first thing that comes to you. It's billions of people in the world, and God created one man for one woman. So that person is out there, but when you're being patient and
Yeah.
you're waiting on God, He's going to send them to you. Like my husband,
Mhm.
he reached out to me out of nowhere. He wasn't even on my radar. I
Wow.
so it was an unexpected blessing, but I
Mhm.
needed it at the time because I'm gonna be honest, I was getting a little hot. I was getting a little hot, experiencing a little freedom that I hadn't experienced, and it was like God knew, okay, she need to sit down. She doing a little bit too much. She got an itch thinking about.
Oh Lord.
God sent exactly what I needed, and not just me, my children as well. So my
Mm-hmm.
biggest advice would be to wait and to not follow, don't just go after the first thing, the first person that asks you out, or the first person that wants to take you on a date,
Mm-hmm.
because you never know what their intentions are. Especially my problem was I was fresh out of a relationship, and I'm not too good at being by myself. So
Mm-hmm.
it was like the first person, oh, can I have your number? Oh, okay. And I put everything into that, and they didn't feel this
Mm.
that I felt. So that was kind of like a bruise to my ego a little bit. But looking back at it, that's my fault. How you just gonna
Mm-hmm.
just throw yourself out there like that? You don't do that. You have to be patient.
Yeah.
You have to have standards. You have to put out what you're going to accept and what you're not going to accept. Because
Mm-hmm.
when you don't put standards and you don't put, okay, this is what I will deal with, this is
Right.
what I won't, when
Mm-hmm.
you do become in a relationship, they think they can do anything they want, move any way they please. And then when you do say something, it's like, well, you accepted this before, so what's the problem now?
Mm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And while you were sitting there
Mm.
talking, I was sitting there thinking, how I don't know where this saying come from, but the saying is that the best way to get over a man is to get under another one. That is just the wrong advice to say
Ooh,
to
girl, you went back. I ain't heard
anybody.
that in a long time.
Anybody. Because I'm like,
Man.
excuse me, all you're doing is packing up your bags and parking them at somebody else's house.
Right.
All the baggage you got, you just taking it with you. But
Yeah.
I just feel like we need to teach our girls that when you get out of a relationship, it's okay to be by yourself.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
It's
that's
okay
important.
to take the time, and really, the time is really necessary to be by yourself so that you can take the time to heal, take the
Mhm.
time to get rid of to get rid of the soul ties as well, because
Yes.
that man's still with you. All
Yes.
you doing is carrying him right along with to the next one. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So you do want to purge. That's what I love to call it, purge, and get rid of some things, because you just taking a whatever. Then you didn't even learn anything. You may have learned something, but I just feel like, in my opinion, that you probably didn't learn the best lesson of all, and that is to love yourself. But
Mm.
how you possibly gonna
Right.
do that when you jumping from one relationship to the
Right.
next, because you're thinking that, oh, I'm just gonna get over this one just by grabbing this other man, or get it for attention, or whatever issue that is going
Right.
on in your heart, because you're not dealing with it. And so it just
Right.
surfaces out, and you act it out, and you don't even
Mhm.
know why, because you didn't sit down and take the time out on why things happened the way that they did.
Right. And
True.
that's why we are single for a reason. And that's
Hmm.
something that I still am learning today. And it's not that I'm rushing out doing anything, but it's just a daily learning process for me is that we're single for a reason. We came into this world by ourselves for the most part, unless
Hmm.
you twin and all of that. But you still, it's you. And
Right.
so it's a space and time for us to learn ourselves and work on ourselves and become the best us that we can possibly
Yeah.
become. If we're always tied to someone else, it almost that our identity becomes this person. We have
Mhm.
no self identity because we've made it about a man. We've made it
Yeah.
about another person instead of having our own identity, which is what we're supposed to have in Christ. And so that's
Yeah.
something I'm constantly learning. Even this downshift that we're experiencing right now, where everything has just been shifted on us, where
Mhm.
you don't have a choice but to get in a corner and sit down somewhere. We've been placed on timeout reality,
Yes.
And
Exactly.
so we've been placed on timeout with our families. We've been placed on timeout with friends or whatever it may be. Being a single woman, my focus now is I have more space to commune with God.
Mhm.
And that's what it's about. When everything
Yeah.
lightens up, I don't know who might be ready to show themselves to me. I want to
Mhm.
be in position to receive that.
Yes.
But this is the time that he's actually, that's why I look at this season and this shift. There's a blessing in this as well. We don't
Amen.
like it, but there's a blessing in this season right now. And
Yeah.
so it's teaching me, get in preparation. You want this, you want that. Okay, get in preparation while you have this downtime. Because right now I have no excuse. I'm working from home.
Mhm.
I don't have little kids. I have a grown adult child. It's just me, myself, and I. So
Yeah.
what's my excuse? So this is,
Yeah.
I would say, anyone, this is your time to work on you. If you
Yes.
single, work on you before you get tangled up and somebody else becomes your identity.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Exactly. And Kendra said a lot of people
Oh, that's
try to get
good.
to know somebody else, but don't even know themselves.
That's so true.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good.
When I divorced, I didn't know who Francis was. It was
Mm,
always, um, I was the wife and the mom, and I
those
didn't
was
know
your
who Francis.
identities.
Somebody asked me one time, "What do you like to do for fun?" And that has nothing to do with your kids. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh wow, I don't even know how to answer that."
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm,
that's very powerful. It happens. I had to literally relearn who Francis was. I had to figure out my own
Yeah.
identity because I lost myself in the relationship. And that wasn't that wasn't his fault. That was my fault.
yeah.
Because going into the relationship, it was kind of like I said before, I'm not well with being by myself. So it was just kind of like I took the time to study this person and know this person better than they knew themselves because I wanted
Mm-hmm.
it to work that bad, and I lost Francis. So I had to figure out who is
Mm,
Francis besides
Yeah.
being a mom and now an ex-wife. Who are you? What do you like?
yeah.
What
Mm-hmm.
makes you important? What makes you Francis? What makes you smile? What makes you tick? And
Yeah.
it took time. It took a lot of time to learn that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that
Francis, how old? I'm sorry. How old were you when you got married?
I was 26 or 7, I think.
Mm,
Okay.
I got with him when I was 17, and then we divorced. We were only married 4 years. So we divorced when I am 32 now, when I was like 29 or 28.
Okay. And
So I
so
was young.
you pretty much were still going through the
yeah.
stages of identity crisis,
Yeah.
identity confusion. So
Yeah.
you really wasn't even aware of who you was anyway. So
Hmm.
when you get married, you just don't know.
Yeah.
you know, but as women, that's exactly what we do. We just put all our energy into getting to know our spouse
Hmm.
so that we can make it work, so that we
Yeah.
can be the best wife because
Right.
we put our mindset on our title,
Hmm.
but it doesn't tell you who I am. It's just a
Yeah.
title. It's just a
Yeah.
role. It doesn't tell you who Tyra is. And
Yeah.
so a lot of
Because there's
people
so
are
many
like this.
people carrying that title.
Exactly. A
Who's
lot of
the
people are
person
like
behind
this.
the title?
I want to know the person behind that because even when I
Right.
ask grown people, people who are past 30 and 40, who are you? The first thing they say are their titles and their roles. And I'm like, babe, that's not who I'm talking about. I want to know you behind those those roles because
Yeah.
that's not who you are. You're not defined by those. Those are
Right.
just titles. Those, really, to be honest, those are blessings.
Hmm.
But it doesn't tell me who you are,
Right.
and they'll be like, okay, I really can't tell you who I am. And
Mm,
but um, that it's important to know who you are, so
Yes.
that especially before you get with someone, because
Mhm.
what happens is that person that you're with, they tend to turn you into someone else.
that they want you to
Yes.
be.
They do what
Exactly.
they want you
And
to be.
it's easy for them to do it because you don't even know who you are.
Right.
So it's amazing. But God is good though,
Yes,
because
he
even
Amen.
in
is.
the midst of all that, God still had a plan for us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
God still had a outcome. It had an
Mhm.
expected end, even though we were being foolish. I can't say that about myself, but but hey, when you're young like that, And then, like I said, there's some grown people who still make decisions like that.
Yeah, that's true.
But you know, the best things you can take out of it is that God still will turn it around for your good
Yes,
Right.
if you want it. If you want it,
You're right.
and
that's
but the
true.
thing
It's a choice.
about it, exactly. The thing about it though is like Francis was saying earlier, that she want people to know that there is a after this. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
That you just because you didn't decide to stay or you decide to get divorced or whatever, there's still an after this. After this, baby, it's still a blessing that's gonna be on top of this after that. You don't
Yes,
have to stay. You don't have to be depressed. You don't have to be sitting there taking abuse, even though there's some churches who do condone it.
yes,
But God doesn't want you to sit there and be hurt
That's
and
right.
nope,
sit there in abuse like that, and be depressed because Jesus is all about love.
yes. He
I
said
just
we're
don't
supposed to have life
understand.
and have it more abundantly.
Amen, sister. But we teaching our girls that we're supposed to be in darkness, but that is not so.
That's yes,
Mm.
very true.
That is not so. And I
That's
really
so
don't.
true. And it's not just
Yeah.
that. When you have young children and you're in a relationship, and it's not a good relationship, it's a toxic relationship, whether it's the woman or it's the man. When
Mm-hmm.
the children learn these things and they suck it up, like I
They
didn't
do.
realize how my sons were being affected by my relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And now I see, some of the things that they do, and I'm like, oh no, you're not supposed to do that. That's not okay.
Mm-hmm.
But because they saw their mom accept it, or they saw those that was around us accept it, they think that
Yeah.
it's okay and it's not.
Yeah. And it's not.
Yeah.
It's really not.
I had to really learn once I my mind was clear and it wasn't about Frances and her broken heart and what did she
Mm-hmm.
do wrong and so on and so on and so on and being hurt. I have 8 sons, but I really wanted a daughter. I'm the mom of some kings that are going to grow up and be a dad.
Mm.
They're going to be a husband. They're going to be probably somebody's coach. What do I want them to do? How do I want
Mm-hmm.
them to represent themselves? How do I want them to function in this society? And that's something
Yeah.
that's so important that I have to say for a little while I was failing them because I didn't think about that.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
Wow.
we're not taught like that no way. So I mean, how could we possibly teach them or think that way, especially when we wasn't taught that way either, to think like
Right.
that. That the
Right.
things that we do as parents can affect your kids. Yeah, it
Yep.
can. I mean, especially when you got boys in the house, and then you have then they see their father doing something to their mother, who they love so dearly, and they possibly cannot do anything about it. It's a lot of things that you're teaching them. It's
Mhm.
a lot of emotions that you're teaching them that really do stir up in them,
That's
and then
true.
as they get older and they can start thinking for themselves,
Right.
oh baby, it's really amazing at what they be thinking, and they be
Yeah.
thinking the wrong thing. But
Mhm. Based on what they've seen. And
mm-hmm,
there was this whole a little while ago, it was this whole movement of I'm a single lady and I don't need a man and
yeah,
all these things and I can raise a man and all that stuff. But in my experience, I'm learning that's not true. It's not true. Yes, a woman can raise a baby from a child to a young man to an adult. Yes, a woman can
mm-hmm,
do that. A woman
mm-hmm,
can instill respect. A woman can instill morals and the things that you should be doing. But a woman has never been a man, especially
never been a
a black
Hate
man.
man
that.
in this society. So these
Mm-hmm,
boys, these young men growing up need a positive role model that
they
can teach
do.
them because they've been through it themselves. They know how it is to walk around as a man in our society and how they get
Yeah.
treated and the judgments that are passed on them and all these things that go on as a black man in the society
Mm-hmm,
that as being a
mm-hmm,
woman we can never teach them that.
Mm.
no, no.
That's so true.
It's so true. We cannot do it.
That's right.
But and I never tried. I just let 'em, I do let them know that look, I'm a woman. I can't teach you how to be a man, but what I can do is instill character in you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and even though your father may not be a father that you desire for him to be, you still can learn from him. That's why I told my boys, you can still learn from him on what not to do.
Right.
So just because you know how it feels about, especially in regards to what he has been doing.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, hey, I don't need to do that. I don't want to do that either. And you start praying and asking the Lord to help you to not do that once you start having kids. Because none of my boys have kids yet. Thank you, Jesus. But I'm sorry, I had to say that. And
Hey.
I mean, not ready. But thank you, Jesus. But you know, you do want your young men to grow up to be a good father, good
Right.
husband. But not only that, because those are titles, just like we were saying, roles, but to be a good person
Right.
and a person who has character, integrity. Yes, all men have flaws, but my thing is are you dysfunction? Because
Mhm.
that's a totally different topic. Because some men are very dysfunctional, and
Yeah.
they need help. Let's just say it that
Yeah.
way. They need help. And mama can't do it. Your wife can't help you, baby. Mama can't help you, and your wife can't help you. That's what I'm saying. Your wife can't help you. Mm-mm. You need to go get some psychological therapy.
Oh
you know,
gosh.
especially for those dysfunctional. Because
Yeah.
hey, we all have grown up in certain type of areas, environment,
Mhm.
whether it's through school, through church, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so you have these dysfunction going on. It needs to be taken care of before you get into a relationship, before you get
Yeah.
married. But hey, we still doing it backwards. But just because you do, I'm telling the truth, Alicia. But
That's
even if
true.
you do it backwards, guess what? God can fix it. He can turn that thing around.
Yes, he
But we
can.
have to be obedient and following His instructions, though.
Yes.
Yes.
We really do. Because if God's saying no, then God be a reason why He's saying no.
Mm-hmm.
If He's
Yeah.
saying
And
no,
I
go over there and talk to that person. God be a reason why He's saying don't go over there and talk to that person. Like,
and that's
And
where we
the
mess
thing
up.
about us, we women, we got intuition for a reason.
Yeah.
You already know
Yes.
you ain't supposed to be doing something. You be like, I don't know now. And then you still go out there and put your hand to
You're
the
like, I don't know now.
fire. Exactly. What you think, say, Felicia?
I was like, that's where we mess up at because God to be speaking clearly. He'll be almost slapping us in our face.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm.
you said you wanted a sign. Here is the sign. And so, and we as women, and I'm pretty sure men do it, but man, it's something about us as women. Well, God, because we want what we want.
Right.
Yeah,
We want it how we want it, and
Yes.
we want it
exactly.
who we want it with. And so,
Exactly.
and it's crazy. We'll pray and pray, God send a sign. I just want to know, which is great. We should be doing that. He sends it almost dang near slap us in the head, and we still like, well, he's saying
Mm.
go right. Well,
Mm.
I'm going to go this way, and then
Yeah.
wonder why we got calamity, wondering
Exactly.
why it done fell apart, wondering why all these different things is transpiring. He's like, you asked, I told you, you did what you wanted to do, so you go
Exactly.
Right.
ahead. Because God ain't gonna make you do nothing. He gonna let
That's
you do
right.
you. He gonna let you fall. He
Mhm.
gonna let you stumble. Well,
Mm-hmm.
but what's so wonderful about him? His grace,
Amen.
his
Amen.
Yes.
grace, his grace. Because
The
even
faith.
being out of his will, he is still
Amen.
a
Yes.
gracious God. But it's
Yeah.
so much better to be in his will. It is
Yes.
so
Yes,
much better.
Lord.
It
So
might
much
not,
fun.
give us what we think we want or think we
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
need, but there is safety there.
Yes. I've
When you're
Amen.
not
lived.
under him and his will, there's a lot that can take place. Even with
Yes.
God's grace, there is still a lot that can take place.
Very
Amen.
true. I've
Yeah.
lived outside of God's will, and I'm now living inside of God's will. And there is
Mm-hmm.
most definitely a big difference. A big, big difference.
Mm,
And
A
what
big
you
difference.
just said was so important. Even with God's grace, You still have to go through the things because you made that choice
That's
to
right.
do
Mhm.
your own thing.
Free will.
Of course. Of
You have a
course.
free will, so he has to allow you to go through it. Okay, you wanted this so bad, I'm gonna let you do it.
I
I'm
got
not
you.
Mhm.
demanding an alcohol way,
Exactly.
but I'm gonna let you go through it. I'm gonna let you fall and stumble, and you might twist your ankle a little bit, but I'm gonna be here to
Right.
pick you up once it hurts just
Girl,
enough.
God's grace.
Once it hurts
Mm-hmm.
just enough that I know you're not gonna do it again. I'm gonna make you a way out.
Yeah. Amen. Somebody had asked a question, Francis,
Hmm.
brought it up. Miss True said that she had just tuned in and wanted to know the meaning of marriage outside of God's will. And does that mean when you are married, if you don't have God in your marriage, possibly you might not be on the right path?
Oh, that's a really good
That
question.
is.
So, my book is called Marrying Outside of God's Will because I married someone that I was specifically told not to marry. And in doing so, that placed me outside of God's will. I was already living outside of God's will, because I was having kids and I wasn't married, and having sex and I wasn't married, and things like that. But I got married because I felt like I deserved the title, and
Mm.
my whole marriage was outside of His will. God was
Mhm.
We were both believers, but on different levels in our journey with God. So when you're on a different level with someone and you guys are married and you're like picking up your cross and you're running with it, and let's say, for example, this person they believe in God, they know God, they was raised in the church, but they're not ready to run with Him yet. They still want to do
Mm.
this, but they know, when bad times come, they know how to pray and different things like that. It causes a lot of conflict. It causes a lot of confusion. It gives the enemy room to pin you guys against each other. So, yes, that is very true. When you don't have God as the center of your marriage, it makes it hard, very hard, very difficult.
Okay.
Um,
Mhm.
Wow.
But
Talking
just
good. You are
because
talking good.
um that if you're already married and then the whoever that doesn't have God in their life, whether it be the wife or the husband, um, if God is saying stay, then you have to stay because He
yes.
has a reason for that. But if He's saying stay, then you have to stay. If you're the woman and you're the one who has Christ in your life, and then you the one who's doing the praying, the going to the church and all that. Because I know it's a lot of women in those type of situations, and then the spouse is not. But
Mhm.
even in that situation, you still have to seek God. You still have to go to Him and ask Him
Right.
what you should do about that marriage.
Mhm.
Um, and whatever He
Yeah.
tells you to do,
That's what you
you
do.
follow those instructions. Don't
Yes.
follow the
Listen to
instructions
God.
of your people, your
Yeah,
friends,
don't
your
listen to
church
your best
family, your
friend and your
family,
female friend.
whoever.
Yes.
You follow those instructions, whatever they may be, um, because only God knows. Because don't nobody else really know. Only God knows.
Right.
But
Right.
if you praying for a way of escape and you want to seek His guidance and you want to know what it is that He wants you to do as far as your marriage is concerned, it got to be between you and God. I wish people could understand that so deeply because you got to do what God said do.
Right. That's so true
You
because
gotta do what
God's
At
God
the
plan
end.
said
is perfect and His instructions are for a reason, even if we don't understand it. Because there was a
do.
point
Yeah.
when I was ready to. I'm like, oh no, I'm leaving, and God was like, no, not right now. No, you have to stay.
Hmm.
Oh,
I didn't understand
wow.
that. I didn't
Yeah.
understand why at the time it wasn't time for me to leave. But now
Hmm.
that the whole situation was over, if I would have left at that time, where I'm at now in my marriage, the person that I'm married to, it wouldn't have happened. The whole timing was off.
Wow.
I mean,
Everything that's going on in my life, from
hmm,
schooling to work, all of those things, it was everything had to come at a certain time.
yeah. Exactly. Because our time is really not like God's timing.
Ain't no way.
So like boo. You just gotta do what God said do. But Miss Francis, we short and judge you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
We don't went past 45 minutes.
As usual.
But you know what? I give you your prop though that nobody came busting through your door.
Oh
Like they
Ah,
did
yeah,
to me.
yes.
my
Mhm.
kids are all doing what they're supposed to do.
Okay,
I have
okay.
to go
Well,
give them
they
that
are doing a
reward
good
that I
job.
promised.
Ah, they like, well, mama's busy. We won't disturb her.
Yes,
I
I
know.
promised them a
But
reward.
mine
So as
sure
soon as
didn't
I
do
come
right.
out, they gonna love it.
Ah,
Yeah. So we're gonna wrap it up on tonight, y'all. So we do want to encourage y'all to stay before the Lord. You know, while you are sitting at home under quarantine, because if all things are working together for our good, they really
Yes,
are. All things are working together for
yes,
your good. And if you don't know what those goods are, you need to sit back and sit down somewhere and ask the Lord what those
yeah.
goods are because there's some good in this. It really is.
It
There's some
really
good up
is.
in the house. I'm telling you. You
Yeah,
just gotta get your paper and your pen and write them down. What is the good of being in this house
right,
with these kids?
right. And
And
then,
then,
like I said,
huh?
I was gonna say, and like I've been saying too, I said God is speaking right now,
yes,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a choice to listen or not. And so I would
Yeah,
say just listen to what he's saying, and there's a whole
yeah,
lot he's saying right now. It's a whole lot he's doing
exactly,
right now. So I
exactly.
would just say tune your ears in.
And then you can ask another question, Lord, what should I be doing
Hmm.
while I'm on quarantine? What is it that I should be doing? Find something to do. Yeah,
now's
find
the
something to
time
do.
to do
You
what God
got to.
told you to do. And it was all these distractions, and I have work and my kids,
Right.
and I can't, and I can't, and I can't. Well, all the distractions are gone. It's just you
They're
and
gone.
God, and put the kids on the schedule and get to work doing what He told you to do.
I like that.
Exactly.
You said put the kids on the schedule. I like
Exactly.
that. You got to have some
Exactly.
order.
Yes. So what you're saying is after this quarantine is over, your assignment should be complete.
Amen.
hmm It
There it
should be.
is.
If
Yes,
you're doing what God has given you to do.
yes. All them creative juices
But
should
yeah,
be flowing right now.
Mm.
exactly, exactly. But thank you, Francis, for being on here tonight.
Yes, it was a
We sure did
pleasure.
enjoy you, and whenever your book come out, make sure you give me a link so I can post it up inside the Facebook page so people can know where they can order it.
Okay,
You,
thank you.
do you have a link already?
No, I don't have a link yet.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
actually taking pre-orders for the book right now.
okay,
The book is $20. I'm taking pre-orders. It'll be autographs mailed. My book release is April 25th, which is the last Saturday of April. Through God's will,
okay,
I'm not canceling my event. Um, I'm trusting God that everything is going to work out the way that it's supposed to. And that's why I picked that date at the end of April. So I'm
okay,
taking pre-orders through Cash App or Zelle or PayPal.
hmm
$20 for the book. I will autograph the book and mail it first class that Monday. So by the time the book release comes, everybody will have their book that pre-ordered. And then the book will be available to the public on Amazon the day after the book release.
okay. All right,
Cool.
all right. So y'all heard that, and so um, Francis, you can just put in the comment where they can go and pre-order it. Okay, you
Okay.
know.
It's not giving me a line right here to type anything.
No, no, I'm gonna wait till after the live. After the live, you can just go back on your phone and go into the comments and
Oh,
just
okay.
type it in.
Okay.
So the link y'all want, whoever wants to pre-order the book, Marrying Outside God's Will, you can just click on the link that Miss Francis is going to put into the comment, and you'll get your book. So
Thank
y'all
you
make sure
so
y'all show some support. And
much.
y'all have a wonderful night, and I pray that y'all have a wonderful week, and I pray that it be productive.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, y'all know I'm gonna tell it. I'm gonna tell it, baby. I'm gonna tell it, cause y'all know y'all gonna be up in the
You
bed,
so will.
flipping that TV. Trying to find something I pray that it be productive. Yeah. So y'all have a good night, John.
You too.
Good
Thank you
night.
again. Good night.
You're welcome.
Bye.